Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
You turn the time circuits on.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Time won't give me time. Gotta get back in time. Time after time.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
All right, here we go. It's another Saturday night, another edition of Decades on your radio. Are you ready to go? The 80s, the 90s, and beyond. It all happens here. Don't go anywhere. Shalimar from Footloose, dancing in the sheets on Decades.
I caught you smiling. I know I've seen you here before. How come you're hiding? Hey, don't you wanna hit the floor? The place is crowded, or maybe you don't like to be. I got a 2-track playing in my head. So let me take you somewhere else instead. Dancing in the sheets. Dancing in the sheets. Grab your coat and wave goodbye to your friends. I wanna take you where the night never ends. I feel the need to sweep you off of your feet. You and me, we should be dancing in the sheets. Dancing in the sheets. We feel the rhythm. We got the music on our side. If we go with them, I bet we'll have a wonderful ride. Your hands are cold, so maybe we can make some heat. Love is always born on a chance. So wrap around me and baby, let's dance. Dancing in the sheets. Grab your coat and wave goodbye to your friends. I wanna take you where the night never ends. I feel the need to sweep you off of your feet. You and me, we should be dancing in the sheets. Dancing in the sheets. Grab your coat and wave goodbye to your friends. I wanna take you where the night never ends. I feel the need to sweep you off of your feet. You and me, we should be dancing in the sheets. Dancing in the sheets. Dancing in the sheets. Dancing in the sheets.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere. 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 Everywhere.
Another night slowly closes in, and I feel so lonely. Touching heat, freezing on my skin. I pretend you still hold me. I'm going crazy, I'm losing sleep.
Good old Cheap Trick. That was their first number one single, 1988, right here on Decades.
Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
And right here on Decades, Top 9 at 9 tonight, we are going to do February 23rd, 1990, the year I graduated from high school. I'm feeling very reminiscent. Chico DeBarge, the other DeBarge. Talk to Me. 1986 on Decades.
Away from me. Don't you think you're acting too tough? I don't want to put it off another day. Do you think I'm asking too much? Yeah. Talk to me, tell me, baby. Dance with me now. You know I really think you oughta tell me you love me. Tell me, show me. You know I really think you oughta. Rhythm and romance seem to fade away. I know we've been needing a change. Yeah, just don't get it when you're out all day. 'Cause you know you're my everything and I can't wait. Come on, baby. You know I really think you oughta tell me, show me now. Show me, baby. You know I really think you oughta. Oh, now, girl, let your love show. Tell me now, let me know, yeah. There's a lot I love you. Don't delay. I think I'll call her up. Yeah, I'll call her up now. Come on, I know you're home. Answer. Pick it up. Converse with me now. You know I really think you oughta tell me you love me. Show me now. You know I really think you oughta talk to me, baby. Talk to me, girl. You know I really think you oughta tell me you do. You know I really think you oughta talk to me, baby. Converse with me now. You know I really think you oughta tell me you love me. Show me now. You know I really think you oughta, baby. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me, converse with me now. Converse with me now, girl. You know I really think you oughta.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
Here we stand, or here we fall. History won't care at all. Baby, baby, like the light. Lady Mercy won't be home tonight. Yeah, don't waste no time at all. Don't hear the bell, but you answer the call. Comes to you as to us all. Yeah, we just waiting for the hammer to fall. Yeah. Oh, every night and every day, a little piece of you is falling away. But let your fires, the western wailing, build your muscles as your body decays. Yeah, come on, line and play that game. Yeah, let the anesthetic cover it all. Till one day they
Mercury and Queen. Hammer to Fall right here on Decades. It wasn't a big hit here stateside, but it was one of those songs they played at Live Aid. Live Aid probably... That was the greatest performance of all time at Live Aid. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody, Radio Gaga, Hammer to Fall, of course, all part of that Live Aid set that they did. And it's, if you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, you got to check that out. It's amazing since that movie came out. All these songs have recharted, especially on a rock chart. Bohemian Rhapsody, Another One Bites the Dust, Somebody to Love, all have recharted in the top 10. Killer Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, I Want to Break Free, We Are the Champions, Radio Gaga, Hammer to Fall, of course, You're My Best Friend, Love of My Life, all charted top 40. And of course, you can't forget about We Will Rock You, We Are Champions, Radio Gaga, Don't Stop Me Now, and Fat Bottom Girls. All have recharted in the since Bohemian Rhapsody, especially on the rock chart. So there you go. All right, we got more decades coming up. We got the top 9 at 9 back in time tonight. We're going to go back to February 23rd, 1990. Can you believe it? It was some 29 years ago. That and more. This is Decades. On the River, 105 and 103.5 around the world. Check it out at decadeswithjoekramer.com and for the Radio Bold app. More Decades coming up.
And do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's together we'll make it through. Someday a spirit will lift you and take you there. I know you've been hurting, but I'll be there waiting to be there for you. And I'll be there just helping you out whenever I can. Come, everybody's free. Everybody's free to feel good. We all are a family that should stand together as one, helping each other instead of just wasting time. Now is the moment to reach out to someone and say to you. When everyone's sharing their hope, then love will ring through. Come, everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free.
It is Decades. Joe E. Kramer. I remember DJing in the clubs especially in the early 90s. That music was all the rage. Black Box and Rosala and Captain Hollywood Project, all that cool stuff was out there. It was probably the best time for dance music, in my lifetime anyway. And of course, when I was a teenager, these guys made, kind of a comeback. They had songs like Kokomo later in the 80s. This kind of got it started for them when it came out in 1985, and they took full advantage of the whole MTV video craze. The Beach Boys on Decades.
The other night, they were playing our song. Hadn't heard it for so long. Took me back, darling, to that time in my car when you cried all night, 'cause we've gone too far. Can I ever get you back? I'm getting tired, laying around here at night, thinking about some other guy holding you tight. He may have money and a brand new car, may even treat you like a movie star. And no matter what he ever do for you, he can never love you like I can do. So if I leave her and you leave him, can we ever get it back again? Can we ever get you back?
Crack open a new Coke and slip on those leg warmers. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
From the neons turn the dark to day.
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Northeast PA's the river.
I think about her all the time. She's my fantasy. An image burning in my mind, calling out to me. While my imagination's running wild, yeah, things are getting clearer. Oh, this time everything is alright. No way, she's gonna get away. This time everything is easy any day. I'm gonna make her mine. I thought of every word I'd say, give or take a few, but she turns and slowly walks away. What do I have to do? Hey, turn up your radio. Oh, something I want you to know. Yeah, this time everything is alright. No way, she's gonna get away. This time everything is easy any day. I'm gonna make her mine. Yeah, I'm gonna make her mine. This It's hard to take, 'cause she's miles away, and I've waited a long time. But the feeling's right, darling, one of these nights. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. Oh, this time everything is alright. No way, she's gonna get away. This time everything is easy any day. I'm gonna make her mine. This time everything is alright. No way, she's gonna get away. This time everything is easy any day. I'm gonna make her mine. Yeah, I'm gonna make her mine. Oh, yeah. This time.
It is Decades. Joe E. Kramer here, as I am every Saturday night. Around the world, Decades, JoeEKramer.com. Brian Adams, 82. This time we got our 8-track classic flashback coming up next. Lost another one this year, so we're going to do a salute to the monkeys coming up. First, the outfield, Every Time You Cry on Decades.
I'm not the one to tell you how close to it. I'm not the one who talks about your head. I'm not the one to show you how I feel inside. I'm not the one to say how much I care. Every time you cry, I cry just a little bit, cry just a little bit. When you say goodbye, I cry just a little bit, cry just a little bit more. I know it's late, I guess I should have called today. I know you're tired of waiting by the phone. I know you said
Joe E. Kramer gives you this week's 8-track classic flashback.
Oh, I could hide beneath the wing of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, but it rings and I ran, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. My shaven razor's cold and it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. Oh, and our good time starts and ends without $1 to spend. But how much, baby, do we really need? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream?
Oh, what a song. Went to number 1 in December of 1967. Then charted again in 1987. The one and only The Monkees. And you can say what you want about them, but you couldn't have found 4 guys who didn't even know each other. Put them together and formed. There was a time that they were bigger than the Beatles in the 1960s. They truly were. And Beatles fans will say, oh, no, but they were bigger than the Beatles for at least 2 years in the 1960s. Peter Tork, of course, passed away this week at the age of 77. 2 of the Monkees are gone. Davy Jones, a couple years ago. Peter Tork, who was diagnosed with tongue cancer of the tongue, back in 2011. So you have Mickey Dolenz and Michael Nesmith are the only remaining Monkees. It's as hard as you get older, and all those people you listen to on the radio, and some of them that I talk to in interviews start, passing away, and you realize you're getting old. I guess that's what the bottom line is, but he'll be missed. The Monkees, Daydream Believer, right here on Decades. All right, what are we going to do now? We're going to do Hairspray at 8. We got that coming up in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Quiet Riot. We got Warrant. We got Kiss. We're going to talk a little about the new Mötley Crüe movie. That's coming out, too. Cannot wait. Called The Dirt. So don't go anywhere. This is Decades on the River, 105 and 103.5 around the world. Decades with JoeEKramer.com, also 105theriver.net, and the Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device. Download it today. More Decades coming up. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 8 o'clock.
This is Ted Poley of Danger Danger.
This is Lorraine Lewis for the band Femme Fatale.
Hey, this is Kelly Keagy from Night Ranger.
And I am on Decades with Joey Kramer.
You're listening to Joe E. Kramer, Decades.
And you're rocking Decades with my buddy Joey Kramer.
This is where the past comes alive. Hairspray at 8 starts now.
All right, Hairspray at 8 does start right now. We roll 5 full hours of retro radio every single Saturday night, including 1 full hour of all that utterly fantastic hair metal from the era that we love the most. The 1980s and the 1990s. Quiet Riot still has the same vocalist for over a year now, so that's a good thing. They released their Live in Milan CD too, featuring Mr. Durbin, the Wild and the Young. Hairspray at 8.
Times are changing, nothing stays the same. All this jukebox generation, into fashion, their computer games, modern day communication. The news of today will fade in tomorrow. They are the strong, they'll survive. The wild and the young, they all have their dreams. The wild and the young, they got to be free. The sun never sets, the soul's on the run. The wild and the young, yeah. Burning passion with no guilt or shame. It's accepted education. Misbehaving, no regrets, no blame. With a bold kind of sophistication. So close to the edge and high on the wire. They are not wrong, they're alive. The wild and the young, they all have their dreams. The wild and the young, they gotta be free. The sun never sets, the soul's on the run. The wild and the So close to the edge and high on the wire. They are not wrong, they're alive. Look out! The wild and the young, they all have their dreams. The wild and the young, they gotta be free. The sun never sets, the soul's on the run. The wild and the young, they all have their dreams. The wild and the young, they gotta be free. The sun never sets, the soul's on the run. The wild and the young.
How high was your hair? This is Hairspray at 8. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Darling, I know you're sleeping, but there's something that I've just got to say. Wonder if you'll hear me while you're dreaming. You make a lifetime out of every day. Thanks to you, now I know all my dreams can come true. Now, baby, you, oh yeah, like I fly high in you. Oh yeah, your eyes keep things well hidden. Just a hint of what you're holding inside.
what you think I do.
Hairspray, and lots of it. This is Hairspray at 8 on Decades.
Tables late, trying to stay tough, never ending. However long she waits, it's just not enough. He's sleeping late, no work around. Broken dreams come tumbling down. He's been down every road in this old dead end town. And now there's two more runners in the night. Forever young, time on our side. We've got tomorrow, we've got tonight. Two hungry hearts out on the road. We'll always be forever young. She's crying, two worlds collide. Can't take anymore. He's denying the kick inside, but Daddy's left the door. He says, we made a deal, you and I. Cross our hearts and hope to die. No matter what may come, we'll never say goodbye. But now we're two more runners in the night. Forever young, time on our side. We've got tomorrow, we've got tonight. Two hungry hearts out on the road. We'll always be forever young. Get out! Forever young, time on our side. We've got tomorrow, we've got tonight. Two hungry hearts out on the road. We'll always be forever young. Forever young, time on our side. We've got tomorrow, we've got tonight. Two hungry hearts out on the road. We'll always be forever just you and
It is Decades Hairspray at 8. The band is Tight Tattoo. just Taiketo. I like to enunciate my words. Taiketo. Forever Young, right here. Hairspray at 8, Joe E. Kramer. We're going to talk a little Kiss. We're going to talk a little Motley Crue. All coming up, so stay right where you're at, okay? It's got to be my favorite Kiss album. I don't care what you say. Next to Destroyer, of course.
People tried to take my soul away, but I don't hear the rap that they all say. They try to tell us we don't belong. That's alright. We're millions strong. This is my music. It makes me proud. These are my people, and this is my crowd. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Sometimes days are so hard to survive. Oh yeah, a million ways to bury you alive. Hey, the sun goes down like a bad dream. You end up tight, gotta let off steam. They say they can break you again and again. If life is a radio, turn up to 10. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Whoa! These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Come on! These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Yeah! Woo! And they try to tell us that we don't belong, but that's alright. We're millions strong. You are my people. You are my crowd. This is our music. We don't belong. Yeah. And nobody's gonna change me, 'cause that's who I am. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Oh yeah. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Whoa. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Yeah. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Hey. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Oh yeah. These are
It is Hairspray at 8. 1987, Crazy Night. The album, the song Crazy, Crazy Nights. And as far as the 80s goes, that was one of my favorite Kiss albums. Of course, Lick It Up was in the 80s. Nothing will ever surpass Destroyer for me. But Kiss on the End of the Road Tour, you know, no matter what they say, no matter what, I'm against the whole lip syncing thing. But these 70-year-old men, two of them anyway, Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer aren't in their 70s, but they're out there every night. I mean, it's got to be exhausting being that. Hope I could do that when I'm 70. Regardless, Motley Crue. Finally, we're seeing some the trailer for the Dirt that's coming out. It's a bio basically of Motley Crue, and it's going to be on Netflix starting on the 22nd of March. That's when it comes out. It really looks good. There's a new song that was recorded a long time ago, obviously, called The Dirt, which was from 1981. But Machine Gun Kelly has a rap. There's kind of a rap in it. Machine Gun Kelly, of course, plays Tommy Lee in the new movie. So it's interesting. I just got a copy of it. So I would have played it this week. I'm going to get it on in 2 weeks because we won't be here next week, but the following week. But there you go. We got more Hairspray at 8. Lita Ford, Van Halen. We're going to do Motley Crue, but we're going to do Motley Crue with John Corabi, not with Vince Neil, and more right here. It is Hairspray at 8. This is Decades on the River 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
This is Hairspray at 8 with Joe E. Kramer. Turn it up.
I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing. Late for my job and the traffic was bad. Had to borrow $10 from my old man. It ain't no big thing. I went to a party last Saturday night. I told you that story, it'd be alright. It ain't no big thing, but I know what I like. I know I like dancing with you, and I know what you like. I know you like dancing with me. Yeah, yeah. Kiss me once, kiss me twice. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me deadly. Had a few beers, getting high, sitting watching the time go by. It ain't no big thing. Nothing to eat and no TV. Looking in the mirror, don't get it from me. It ain't no big thing, but I know what I like. I know I like dancing with you, and I know what you like. I know you like dancing with me. Oh yeah. Kiss me once, kiss me twice. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me deadly. Kiss me once, kiss me twice. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me deadly. You know I like dancing with you, dancing with you. Come on, kiss me once, kiss me twice. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me deadly. Kiss me once, kiss me twice. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me. Come on, pretty baby, kiss me deadly.
Oh yeah, Hairspray at 8, Lita Ford. Kiss me deadly. It is Joey Kramer. And how about this? Now, there's nothing definite about Van Halen going out on tour. And, you know, my feeling is David Lee Roth's voice it never was good, but it's gotten worse as time goes on. But they're saying a stadium tour, so who knows? Eddie Van Halen, meanwhile, has released a new shoe commemorating the release of their iconic 1978 debut. It's 1978 High Tops from Eddie Van Halen. So check it out online. I'm looking for a price there. I can only imagine. It's got the Eddie Van Halen logo on both the tongue and the shoe and backside. Feels so good with Sammy Hagar. There's a voice. This is Hairspray at 8. Decades on the River 105 and 103.5.
is Hairspray at 8.
The biggest hits forever.
Michael Sweet the lead singer, because there is a voice. No offense, Paul, but you don't get much more of a voice than Michael Sweet has, and it has endured time without a doubt. But, all right, how about some Motley Crue, but with John Corabi on lead vocals? Remember that? Misunderstood. Hairspray at 8. The Crew.
Little old man contemplates suicide twice a day. Life's passed him by. Little old woman scared and blind, left alone in desperate times. Life's passed her by. Oh, life is misunderstood them. So they close their eyes and dream of better days. Oh, life is
we stood there. Life's not always fair, or so they say.
Spandex never felt so good. This is Hairspray at 8 with Joe E. Kramer.
Just a moment before our love will I must know the reason why we say goodbye. Wait just a moment and tell me why. 'Cause I can show you love that you won't deny.
Hairspray at 8's Mike Tramp and White Lion. It's Joey Kramer on Hairspray at 8. And Mike Tramp will be visiting us again. He has a brand new album called Stray from the Flock. And, Mike's been great. Whenever I want him to come on the show, he's always available. And he has a new release. He's touring with Kick. So we got Penn Speak coming up on May 23rd. So Mike's going to be on the show coming up in the next couple of weeks. Also, the return of Air Supply. Yes. That's going to be near the end of March. So we're going to have them on the show, too. Don't go anywhere. I was looking at some of the Kiss merchandise. I forgot about a lot of this stuff. I forgot there were Kiss condoms. I didn't realize that. That is a true story. I know about the Kiss casket. And, of course, they spell casket with the K. And I've always talked about them. My favorite is the Kiss toilet seat. And I think one version of it is when you sit on it, it actually plays a Kiss song. Now, I know I'm guilty of buying a Kiss toothbrush. When my kids were little, especially my older one, I got her one that played Rock and Roll All Night, so I told her she had to brush her teeth through the 2 minutes of Rock and Roll All Night that it had on the toothbrush. So I even contribute besides all the concerts and everything else. Just wish I would have kept those original Kiss masks I had from the late 70s. All right, Top 9 at 9, Back in Time. That's what we're doing tonight. And the year I graduated, we're coming up on my 30th reunion, which makes me feel so old. That, and somebody I went to school with, Molly, she sent me some old pictures of me. Thank you so much for making me feel even older. I think they were like from 88. And I showed them to a girl on our basketball team. Said, were you in a rock band? Kids today. More decades coming up. Top 9 at 9 back in time. The 9 biggest songs in your radio this very week. February 23rd, 1990 is coming up straight ahead. Don't go anywhere. Right here. It's Decades on the River, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
It's 9 o'clock.
What's this? You know what this is?
This is the Top 9 at 9 back in time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer on The River.
All right, so you ready? The Top 9 at 9 back in time right here on Decades. Tonight we are going to explore the 9 biggest songs on your radio. This very week, February 23rd, 1990. I was a senior in high school, so this was like winding down my high school career. And I remember every single one of these songs like it was yesterday. It was also the year where minimum wage went up to $3.80 per hour. How about that, millennials? No $15 an hour. We were getting $3.80 an hour. Tandy Computer, $7.99. That's $799. And the rage, of course, was the Nintendo Game Boy, which you could buy. I mean, it had the Nintendo. And for, $3.80 an hour, you could get yourself a Game Boy for $89.97. It might take you 2 or 3 weeks to save it up. Actually, your full paycheck. And John Wayne had a group called Bad English. They were at number 9 with The Price of Love in the Top 9 at 9 back in time. February 23rd, 1990.
Number 9.
Sometimes it seems to me that I don't say the things I should. To you, I act like I'm no good, and you wait for me patiently. This house is not a home without you. It takes 2 hearts to share your
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Number 8.
Here we are, face to face. We forget time and place. Hold me now, don't let go. Though it hurts, and we both know the time we spend together's gonna fly. And everything you do to me is gonna feel so right. Baby, when you're loving me, I feel like I could cry. 'Cause there's nothing I can do to keep from loving you. No, 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 no. Here we are, all alone, trembling hearts beating strong, reaching out, breathless kiss. Never thought could feel like this. I want to stop the time from passing by. Want to close my eyes and feel your lips are touching mine. Baby, when you're close to me, I want you more each time. There's nothing I can do to keep from loving you. Nothing I can do. I'm helpless in your arms. Baby, what you do, me love, this is it. There's no turning back this time. No, no, no. Here we are once again. But this time we're only friends. Funny world, sometimes lies become the game when love's the prize. And no one knows what's going on inside. And all the love I feel for you is something I should hide. When I have you close to me, the feeling's so sublime that there's nothing I can do to keep from loving you. No, no, no. Can't keep from loving you, baby. No, no, no. There's nothing I can do, my baby. Can't keep from loving you.
You know, first it was the Miami Sound Machine, and then it was Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. And then it just sort of became Gloria Estefan, and she had a string of hits of her own. And actually, the Miami Sound Machine was still backing her up, but it was just Gloria Estefan. Here we are, was at number 8 this very week. God, 29 years ago, February 23rd, 1990. Time just flies by. That's the scary thing. And all you young'uns who are wearing those ripped jeans, we started it. 3 ripped jeans, white headbands, and high-priced sneakers. All started in 1990. So whether you want to believe it or not, if you were listening with your parents and they tell you, it is true. And then Billy Joel. Man, I hope he makes a new CD soon. Hasn't had one out in almost 30 years. I Go to Extreme.
Number 7.
Call me a fool. Right at this moment, I'm totally cool. Clear as a crystal, sharp as a knife. I feel like I'm in the prime of my life. Sometimes it feels like I'm going too fast. I don't know how long this feeling will last. Maybe it's only tonight. Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. Too high or too low, there ain't no in-betweens. And if I stand or I fall, it's all or nothing at all. Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. Sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm shocked. Sometimes I don't know how much more I got. Maybe I'm headed over the hill. Maybe I set myself up for the kill. Tell me, how much do you think you can take until the heart in you starting to break? Sometimes it feels like it will. Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. Too high or too low, there ain't no in-betweens. You can be sure when I'm gone, I won't be out there too long. Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. Out of the darkness, into the light, leaving the scene of the crime. Either I'm wrong or I'm perfectly right every time. Sometimes I lie awake night after night, coming apart at the seams. Eager to please, ready to fight. Why do I go to extremes? And if I stand or I fall, it's all or nothing at all. Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. No, I don't know why I go to extremes. Too high or too low, there ain't no in-betweens. You can be sure when I'm gone, I won't be out there too long. Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. I don't know why, I don't know why. I don't know why, I don't know why. I wanna look into the light.
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Number 6.
Around the world, the trip begins with a kiss.
B-52s. We're at number 6. So far, we've counted down 9 through 6. The Price of Love by Bad English. Here we are by Gloria Stefan. I Go to Extremes by Billy Joel, and you just heard Rome B-52s. The Top 9 at 9 Back in Time, February 23rd, 1990 is on. I'm going to tell you some television stuff, and then I'm going to play a theme song. It wasn't a popular show. It was back in the early 70s. And there's been so many incarnations. In fact, they're doing I'll give you a hint. They're doing a new show on, I think it's HSN, if I'm not the Home Shopping Network. TLC maybe? I don't know. One of those home and building shows. But they're taking the iconic house and they're making it look like it did on TV. But in 1990, we had Murder, She Wrote, Murphy Brown, Cheers, Roseanne, A Different World, The Cosby Show, Empty Nest. This one was on very short, but I saw all the episodes, of course. Right? We love them. The Brady's in 1990. You know, they had a Very Brady Christmas, which was so popular when they did it. It was the number one show that week, the movie. So they decided to basically start from there and make a drama show, basically a drama version of the Brady's. All the returning characters except for Maureen McCormick. And it was odd because in the beginning of the episode, they showed, of course, when the kids looked young. Although Maureen McCormick as a younger Marcia was not there. There was some other child in the picture. And Leah Ayres played Marcia Brady Logan on the TV show. 6 episodes. That's all it lasted, and there were 3 different themes during those 6 episodes. The Brady's. Very depressing version of the Brady Bunch. All right, we got more coming up. The Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. What was number 1 this very week back in 1990, February 23rd? Roxette, Chicago, Milli Vanilli. We'll find out next. This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time on Decades. Right here, The River 105 and 103.5.
Back in Time with this week's Top 9 at 9. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Number 5.
Your backbone slide, what a feeling when you push it up, push it down. You gotta push it up, push it down. Feel good. George Michael or Marvin Gaye, still it's the same in you. Baby, don't tease, ooh, just please, 'cause you know it's just me and you. push it up, push it down, push it where it feels real good. All or nothing, sweet bumblebee. Sting it like I knew you could. All or nothing. It's got to be something gotta show when you're lying under me. All or nothing. Girl, let it be. Take it from the pro.
It is the top 99. Back in time. How about it? Milli Vanilli. That was before we found out, oh my God, they were not singing. And that seems like to be a normal thing today, right? People don't sing. Do we even get upset about it? But they had to give back their Grammy after they were found to be fakes by using other singers. How about that? The Reebok Pump and Dolphin Free Tuna are new on the market. And the big things, rollerblading, Where's Waldo? Remember Where's Waldo? I loved Where's Waldo. And The Simpsons debuted. It's in its 30th year now, yes. And The Simpsons were actually voted favorite TV show in my high school year. That's so weird. It is so strange. And Chicago, of course, was... let me try this one more time. Let's try this again. Chicago had Chicago 19. They now had a new lead singer. They had Look Away. And, of course, they had this song, What Kind of Man Would I Be? Was at number 4 in the top 99 back in time.
Number 4.
Well, it's been one of those days again, and it seems like the harder I try, over and over, I'm right back where I began. But you understand, oh girl, when nothing else in this world goes right. Oh, I just wanna run to you. You pull me through. Oh, baby, who wouldn't wanna have you in their life? Tell me what kind of man would I be, living a life without any meaning? And I know you could surely survive without me. But if I have to live without you, tell me what kind of man would I be? Times when it was pointless for me to try, I was more than a desperate man. What seemed like forever was gone with one touch of your hand. Oh, girl, if I could count all the sleepless nights when you were there for me, a fool could see. Oh, baby, once that I found you, there was no letting go. Tell me what kind of man would I be, living a life without any meaning? And I
Tell me what kind of man. Tell me what kind of man would I be? Tell me what kind of man.
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time.
The biggest hits, the Flipper.
Number 3.
You pack your bag, you take control. You're moving into my heart and into my soul. Get out of my way, get out of my sight. I won't be walking with thin eyes to get through the night. Hey, what's your word? What's your game? I know your business, don't know your name. Hold on tight, you know she's a little bit dangerous. She's got what it takes to make ends meet. The eyes of a lover that hit like heat. You know she's a little bit dangerous. You turn around, so hot and dry. You're hiding under a halo. Your mouth is alive. Get out of my way, get out of my sight. I'm not a trick to go deeper tonight. Hey, what's your word? What's your game? I know your business, but I don't know your name. Hold on tight, you know she's a little bit dangerous. She's got what it takes to make ends meet. The eyes of a lover that hit like heat. You know she's a little bit dangerous. A little bit dangerous. What's your game? I know your business, but I don't know your name. Hold on tight, you know she's a little bit dangerous. She's got what it takes to make ends meet. The eyes of a lover that hit like heat. You know she's a little bit dangerous. She's extremely dangerous. She's got what it takes to make ends meet. The eyes of a lover that hit like heat. You know she's a little bit dangerous. A little bit dangerous. Hey, where's the word? What's your game?
It is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. February 23rd, 1990, 29 years ago, and Roxette had the number 3 song on the radio. Dangerous in the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time on Decades.
It's the Top 9 at 9 with Joe E. Kramer on Decades.
It is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. How about in sports? Super Bowl, Giants beat Buffalo 20-19. Heisman Trophy, Ty Detmer. And NCAA basketball winner was Detroit. No, what could have been? It doesn't say it. It doesn't give it. I'm going to find. Oh, UNLV. Janet was at number 2.
Number 2.
I almost said the Detroit Red Wings. It's that kind of night.
As I was walking by, saw you standing there with a smile.
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
All right, we've done number 9 through number 2. This very week, February 23rd, 1990, the year I actually graduated from high school. These are the biggest songs. Price of Love by Bad English. Number 8, Here We Are, Gloria Estefan. Number 7, I Go to Extremes by Billy Joel. 6, Rome by the B-52s. 5, All or Nothing by Milli Vanilli. 4, What Kind of Man Would I Be by Chicago. 3, Dangerous by Roxette. 2, Escapade by Janet Jackson means we're up to the number 1. Before we do that, 1990. It was the first documented crash between two cars fitted with airbags. Two 1989 Chrysler LeBarons occurred. Both drivers walked away with minor injuries from a crash they would have not survived without airbags. And it was we made history, too, in 1990. For the first time in the history of music, the first rap single reached number 1 in the U.S. Do you know what it was? Anybody? Anybody? Sam's here. Do you know what it is?
Run DMC.
No.
I don't know, Dad. Why do you ask me questions that I don't know?
Okay, I'm putting her back down. I thought she might know it. It was Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. The first ever number 1 song to reach number 1. Now you look at the Billboard chart, and it's all rap. And my daughter was... Let me hear some poetry today. I can't even repeat it on the air. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. At least Vanilla Ice was fun. All right, number 1 this very week, 29 years ago. Let's do it. Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat were at number 1 with Opposites Attract. Right here on the Top 9 at 9. Back in Time.
Number 1.
On the rap, so mic it. Here's a little story and you're sure to like it. Swift and sly and I'm playing it cool with my homegirl, Paula Abdul. but there's trust. I'm like a minus, she's like a plus. One going up, one coming down, but we seem to land on common ground. Things go wrong, we make corrections to keep things moving in the right direction. Try to fight it, but I'm telling you, Jack, it's useless. Opposites attract.
Baby, ain't it something how it lasted this long?
Are you and me proving everyone wrong?
I don't think we'll ever get our differences patched.
Don't really matter, cause we're perfectly matched.
I take 2 steps forward,
I'll take 2 steps back.
we come together, cause opposites attract, and you know, it ain't fiction,
Just a natural vibe.
we come together, cause opposites attract. 2 steps forward,
2 steps back.
we come together, cause opposites attract, and you know, it ain't fiction,
Just a natural vibe.
we come together, cause opposites attract. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps back,
We come together, cause opposites attract. It ain't fiction, you know it's the fact. We come together, cause opposites. 2 steps forward,
2 steps back, 2 steps back, opposites attract.
we come together,
Together, cause opposites attract.
It is the Top 99, Back in Time on Decade. That is the number one song. You remember it? That is Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat, better known as Wild Hair. And they took over number one. They spent 4 weeks there, starting in February 23rd, 1990, 29 years ago, right here. All right, so there'll be no Decades next week. The following week we'll be back, and I will have an interview with, we'll do Air Supply. Actually, Graham Russell, one of the members. We had Russell Hitchcock on a few years back. Graham Russell will be with us from the group Air Supply. That's coming up either in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We'll have him on. So, but no Decades next week. We'll be back the following week right here at 7 o'clock, of course, 7 o'clock Eastern, as we always do. And listen worldwide at decadeswithjoeykramer.com, 105theriver.net. Download our Radio Bold app. You can do that for free for your iPhone or Android device. More Decades coming up. Debbie Gibson, Michael W. Smith, a rockabilly tune from Robert Plant and the Honey Drippers, and more right here. This is Decades on the River, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 10 o'clock.
Hi there, this is Howard Jones.
Hey, this is Coons from John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
This is Nick Richards from Boys Don't Cry.
I wanna be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl.
And you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
You're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
I've been listening to Joey Kramer's Decade Show, which is the business.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
As we roll 5 full hours of retro radio, this is the place to be every Saturday night. The only live show on a Saturday night. There's like no talking computers here. It's just me and a microphone and playing the hits. We're also on the Facebook, so check that out. Oh, it's Debbie Gibson, only in my dreams on Decades.
Every time I'm telling secrets, I remember how it used to be, and I realize how much I miss you, and I realize how it feels to be free. Now I see how much you know good, and I want to start again. Can't remember when I felt good. No, I can't remember when.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere.
The wind is moving, but I am standing still. A life of pages waiting to be filled. A heart that's hopeful, a head that's full of dreams. But this becoming is harder than it seems. Feels like I'm looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world. Not a lot to lean on, I need your light to help me find my place in this world, my place in this world. If there are millions down on their knees among the many, can you still hear me? Hear me asking, where do I belong? Is there a vision that I can call my own? Show me. I'm looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world. Not a lot to lean on, I need your light to help me find my place in this world, my place in this world. Looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world. Not a lot to lean on, I need your light to help me find my place in this world, my place in this world. Looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world.
Michael W. Smith, right here on Decades.
Joey Kramer. Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
Well, back in the 90s, I always talk about it. All that disposable dance music that was so catchy when it came out between like 1990 and 1993, including this one. She just called herself Karina Temptation. 1991. This is Decades.
Baby, there's something I think you should know. I don't think I'll be needing you anymore. It's just one of those things. I'm
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
before Brian Setzer and the orchestra and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and all those bands took up like the big band sound in the 1990s. Robert Plant via Led Zeppelin had the Honey Drippers. They only put out that one album, and it was called The Honey Drippers Volume 1. Robert Plant was on vocals. It was like a supergroup. Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page was on Sea of Love. Nile Rodgers, Paul Schaefer, Dave Weckl, Wayne Tidwater. Keith Evans did some Rockin' at Midnight. And it was weird because there was only 5 songs. I remember buying it. Same price as a regular album. Side 1 had I Get a Thrill, Sea of Love, and I Got a Woman, which, of course, was the Ray Charles song. And then side 2 had Young Boy Blues and Rockin' at Midnight. And that was it. Now, there was always talk of another Honey Drippers album, but nothing's ever happened. So we shall see. All right, we got more decades coming up. A lot of cool stuff on the way. Skid Row, a group called the Lightning Seeds, with their one and only hit from the 1980s. And if you loved General Hospital in the 80s, you'll love the Afternoon Delights. We got that one on the way, too. This is Decades, exclusively on the River, 105 and 103.5 around the world and everywhere at Decades with JoeEKramer.com, 105theriver.net. You can hear us on, and of course, you got to get the Radio Bold app. It's free. You download it on your iPhone or Android device, and you can hear Decades and everything on Bold Gold Media anytime, anywhere. More Decades coming up. Hang on.
And do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Hey, this is Rachel Ball from Skid Row, and you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
Streets of Soldier, and he fucked the world.
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Northeast PA's the river.
They weren't very big on the pop chart, but on the modern rock chart and college radio in the 80s and into the 90s, they were huge. One top 40 hit, the Lightning Seeds, and my favorite, Pure, right here on Decades.
Nighttime slows, raindrops splash rainbows. Perhaps someone you know could sparkle and shine. As daydreams slide, color from shadow. Picture the moon glow that dazzles my eyes. And I love you. Just lying smiling in the dark, shooting stars around your heart. Dreams come bouncing in your head, pure and simple every time. Now you're crying in your sleep. I wish you'd never learn to weep. Don't sell the dreams you should be keeping, pure and simple every time. Dream of sights of sleigh rides and seasons, where feelings, not reasons, can make you decide. As leaves pour down, splash autumn on gardens, as colder nights harden, their moonlit delights. And I love you. Just lying smiling in the dark, shooting stars around your heart. Dreams come bouncing in your head, pure and simple every time. Now you're crying in your sleep. I wish you'd never learn to weep. Don't sell the dreams you should be keeping, pure and simple every time. Look at me with starry eyes, push me up the starry skies. The stardust in my head, pure and simple every time. Fresh and deep as oceans new, shiver at the sight of you. I sing a soft tune, pure and simple over you. If love's the truth, then look no lies and let me swim around your eyes. I found a place I'll never leave. Shut my mouth and just believe. Love is the truth I realize, not a stream of pretty lies to use us up and waste our time. Lying smiling in the dark, shooting stars around your heart. Dreams come bouncing in your head, pure and simple every time. Now you're crying in your sleep. I wish you'd never learn to weep. Don't sell the dreams you should be keeping, pure and simple every time. Look at me with starry eyes, push me up the starry skies. The stardust in my head, pure and simple every time. Fresh and deep as oceans new, shiver at the sight of you. I sing a softer tune, pure and simple over you. Pure and simple just for you.
Blasting out the hits. The Master Blaster. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
the 1980s. And I'm not talking about Live Aid. This was the Victory Tour, which for a year and a half the Jacksons were out there, and it wasn't really even a Jacksons concert. It was more of a Michael Jackson concert than anything else. I remember singing in Philadelphia at RFK Stadium, and there'll never be another concert like it. Martika, I Feel the Earth Move. This is Decades on the River 105 and 103.5. Turn it up.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
Rock it hard, rock it steady. Pick yourself up and get yourself ready. Wave your arms, let me hear you yell. We're gonna rap about general hospitality.
It started out in Port Charlestown, where Frank Smith's mob used to hang around. No one could prove that he was a crook till Luke stole his little black book. It numbers all in code. So Luke and Laura had to hit the road. They had to find the left-handed boy. Watch their step, they had to be coy. The gold involved is worth so much. Others wanted it like Sally and Hutch. But there's one thing I must confess. Sally was a man who wore a dress. Luke kept his cool, he ain't no fool. He set them both up cold. Well, Sally died, Hutch survived, and no one got the gold. Paging Dr. Noah Drake to ICU to treat a case of heartbreak.
One thing that you can give me that Leslie can't, and that's passion.
Alan was the father, of course, and he won't give Monica a divorce. Rick wants to get Leslie back. Heather's having an insane attack. I'll get Diana Taylor. She's not crazy, no, never. She just wants to get Dr. Jeff Weber. Jeff wants Annie for his wife, then he might have to wait all of his life. 'Cause good girls don't, and Annie won't. You all know what I mean. Amy Bunny likes to blab. Richard Simmons helps fight Flab. Susan's having Alan's baby. Noah wants Bobby for his lady. Well, Luke, he got another job. The Quartermains are the brand new mob. Laura's the receptionist. What's missing now is the ice princess.
Yes, Luke Spencer, please.
Diamonds, not gold, are in it this time. Scorpio, the house of Cassadine. On and on and on it goes. How it ends up, nobody knows. 'Cause they keep me waiting. I don't mind waiting. Don't call me crazy. No, I'm not lazy. My day won't go right. I can't sleep all night. If I don't find out, it blows my mind out. I just can't cope without my soap. Tell me what's going on. Did you see it today?
General Hospital.
Tell me what's going on.
Addiction. See, there's no singing with the Sam this week, but there is singing with the Kramer. The Sam is right here. Say hi, Sam.
Hi.
See, I'm thinking of doing Kramer karaoke, where every week instead of when she's not here, because she's only here like once a month or whatever, she comes in, she just ditches me when she comes on. But I'm gonna spin the wheel, okay, at 10:15, the Kramer karaoke wheel, and then the song that comes up is the song that I'm going to sing by myself.
I'll tune in every week for that.
Imagine the possibilities of what I can sing.
You could do a duet and you could sing both the female and the male part.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. So, all right, I'm going to put her back down. We're going to get ready for the final hour here. We got the Timex Social Club in there, UB40, Madonna, Snow, the Informer, where he had another song, another actual hit. He wasn't a one-hit wonder. He had another top 10 hit that came out in 1993. So we're going to do a lost track from Snow and more. And, of course, we got the Weird Al Yankovic coming up to end the show, so don't miss that. We'll continue on our Brady Bunch theme with Weird Al Yankovic tonight, as we did the Bradys during the Top 9 at 9. Right here on Decades. We're live every single week around the world at decadeswithjoekramer.com. You can also listen on 105theriver.net and the Radio Bold app, which is very cool. All of the Bold Gold media stations, there's 15 of them. You can listen to any of them anytime, including Decades on a Saturday night, and that's Radio Bold. And you can get info on that at radiobold.com. More Decades coming up right here It's Decades on the River, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 11 o'clock.
Hey there, this is John Oates. Hi, this is Jay King from Club Nouveau.
Lean on me, we are not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Hey, this is Jeff Pilson from Foreigner.
You are listening to Decades with Joey Kramer. And you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
And you're listening to my good pal Joe E. Kramer on Decades.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
All right, 5 full hours of retro radio every single Saturday night live inside the studio at Mohegan Sun, Pocono, right here in Plains, Wilkes-Barre, wherever you want to call it. The only live show on a Saturday night that I can guarantee. Timex Social Club gets the 11 o'clock hour started.
Hi, this is Marcus Thompson from Timex Social Club, and you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
How do rumors get started? It started by the jealous people, and they get mad seeing something they had and somebody else is holding. They tell me that temptation is very hard to resist. But these wicked women, ooh, they just persist. And maybe you think it's cute, but girl, I'm not impressed. I tell you one time only with my business.
on air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere, everywhere, everywhere.
Swaying room as the music starts, strangers making the most of the dark. Two by two their bodies become one. I see you through the smoky air. Can't you feel the weight of my stare? You're so close but still a world away. What I'm dying to say is that I'm crazy for you. Touch me once and you know it's true. I never wanted anyone like this. It's all brand new. You're feeling in my kiss. I'm crazy for you. Crazy for you. Trying hard to control my heart. I walk over to where you are. Eye to eye, we need no words at all. Slowly now we begin to move. Every breath I'm deeper into you. Soon we two are standing still in time. If you read my mind, you see I'm crazy for you. Touch me once and you know it's true. I never wanted anyone like this. It's so brand new. You feel it in my kiss. You feel it in my kiss because I'm crazy for you. Touch me once and you know it's true. I never wanted anyone like this. It's so brand new. You feel it in my kiss. I'm crazy for you. Crazy for you. Crazy for you. Crazy for you. It's all brand new. I'm crazy for you, and you know it's true. I'm crazy, crazy for you. It's so brand new. I'm crazy for you, and you know it's true. Yeah, I'm crazy for you.
Joey Kramer. Joey Kramer. Turn it up.
This is Decades.
And this is the band that was, for 30, 40 years they were together, and then Allie Campbell and Astro, the two big vocalists in the band, left in 2013, kind of doing their own thing, suing the original members. And they're not afraid to say how they hate the new version of UB40, so I just don't see UB40 without Ollie and Astro. It's just not the same. Sing our own song, UB40, right here on Decades.
Grateful for the tears that we've cried for our brothers and sisters who died. Over 400 years has washed away our pain and strengthened our mind. Now we turn back the tide. We will no longer hear your command. We will seize the control from you and me. We will fan the flame of our anger and pain. You feel ashamed for what you do in God's name. We fight for the right voice of our forefathers here. Forward Africa, run, our day of freedom has come. For me and for you, Amanda, way too. We fight for the right to be free. We build our own society. We will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. And we fight for the right to be free. We build our own society. We will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. And we fight for the right to be free. We build our own society. We will sing, we will sing our own song. And we fight for the right to be free. We build our own society. We will sing, we will sing our own song. And we fight for the right to be free. We build our own society. We will sing, we will sing our own song.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 90s.
Yeah, that first one did sound like Clarence Kevin. This is Snow, a lost track.
You said there won't be no other love but me. But girl, I know much better. I'm no fool. You've been playing games on me. Come here, tell me what you're thinking of. Is it real? Have you found another love? How long must we play this masquerade? Girl, I've been hurt, now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt, now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt, now I need another lover. You are no girl. Is there something you should tell me? 'Cause you've been acting kinda strange lately. But I already know what's been going on. I'm in love, but loving doesn't blind me. Now I'm moving on and I'm leaving you behind me, baby. I have to go, I just can't take it anymore. Girl, I've been hurt, now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt, now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt, now I need another lover. You are no girl. My loving is this a girl, me say love for this a girl. Never from this a girl, me say love for this a girl. Don't you know say that I'm a snow, me say give a diamond and pearl. Give a this a girl, me say diamond and pearl. Never me in me heart, me say don't you believe. You say that I'm a snow, you're mad, cool and deadly. But me love for this a girl, but she left me lonely. Never from this a girl, and she left me lonely. She want go break on me hand, put a fine. She want go break on me hand, put a fine. Me a go find another lover, me say find another one. Find another lover, me say find another one to make me feel fine, make me feel fine. Put a bam, me young go make me feel fine. Girl, I've been hurt and now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt and now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt and now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt and now I need another lover. You are no girl, I've been hurt and now I need another lover.
Yes, no. Yes, no. Real name Darren Kenneth O'Brien. You probably never heard of him referred to as that, because we just knew him as Good Old Snow, straight out of Toronto, Canada. And his big one was Informer. 7 weeks at number one in 1992. 12 Inches of Snow was his original album, which sold 4 million copies. He was always bigger here in the States than he was in Canada, and that song, Girl I've Been Hurt, was his second top 40 hit. Informer hit number one, and then Girl I've Been Hurt hit number 19. So there you go. So don't be calling Snow no one-hit wonder. We got more decades coming up as we wind things down for another Saturday night. Get ready. You heard a little bit of Clarence Clemens because I hit the wrong song. So we're going to do Clarence coming up, Tracy Chapman, and of course, Weird Al Yankovic. We always end it with the Weird Al song. Tonight will be no different, so stay right here. This is Decades on the River 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
And do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Striking out, what got me in? I'm gonna stand right by your side through thick or thin.
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
The biggest hits forever. Como arigato, Mr. Roboto. Como arigato, Mr. Roboto. Mata animade. Como arigato, Mr. Roboto. Itsu mo shiritai. You're wondering who I am. Secret, secret, I got a secret. Machine or mannequin. Secret, secret, I got a secret. With parts made in Japan. Secret, secret, I got a secret. I am the modern man. I've got the secret I've been hiding under my skin. My heart is human, my blood is boiling, my brain IBM. So if you see me acting strangely, don't be surprised. I'm just a man who needed someone and someone to hide, to keep me alive. Just keep me alive. Somewhere to hide, to keep me alive. I'm not a robot without emotions. I'm not what you see. I've come to help you with your problems so we can be free. I'm not a hero. I'm not the savior. Forget what you know. I'm just a man whose circumstances went beyond his control, beyond my control. We all need control. I need control. We all need control. I am the modern man. Secret, secret, I've got a secret. Who hides behind a mask. Secret, secret, I've got a secret. So no one else can see. Secret, secret, I've got a secret. My true identity. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo, domo, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo, domo, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Thank you very much, oh Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Thank you very much, Mr. Roboto, for helping me escape to where I needed to. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, thank you. Mr. I wanna thank you, Mr. Please, thank you, Mr. Roboto. The problem's plain to see. Too much technology. Machines to save our lives. Machines dehumanize. The time has come at last. Secret, secret, I've got a secret. To throw away this mask. Secret, secret, I've got a secret. Now everyone can see. Secret, secret, I've got a secret. My true identity. I'm Kilroy. Kilroy. Kilroy.
Looking like a little Kilroy. Sticks, Mr. Roboto, it's Joey Kramer. This is Decades as we slowly wind things down for another night. Shaka Khan.
Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Shaka Khan, let me rock it, Shaka Khan. Let me rock it, that's all I wanna do. Shaka Khan, let me rock it, Shaka Khan. Let me rock it, got the feel for you. Chaka Khan, what you tell me what you wanna do? Do you feel for me the way I feel for you? Chaka Khan, let me tell you what I wanna do. I wanna love you, wanna hug you, wanna squeeze you too. And let me take it in my arms, let me feel you with my charm, Chaka. Cause you know that I'm the one to keep you warm, Chaka. I make it more than just a physical dream. I wanna rock you, Chaka, baby, cause you make me wanna scream. Let me rock it, rock it. Let me rock it, that's all I wanna do. Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, got the feel for you, feel for you.
Pardon me while I stop the music. I need to play with my Rubik's Cube. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's your life and I'm not gonna live it. The change is coming and it's overdue. I'm gonna take you over the limit. You know I'm only looking out for you. Get lucky, I get lucky, and I see you get lucky too. I'll be there when you get it right. That's the beauty of living my life. Hold on, baby, I'm taking you back to school. Little logic bells don't
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
You can watch Mr. Rogers, you can watch Three's Company, and you can turn on Fame or the Newlywed Game or the Addams Family. Say, you can watch Barney Miller, and you can watch your MTV, and you can watch till your eyes fall out of your head. That'll be okay with me. And you can watch. You can watch Johnny Carson, you can watch Bill Donahue, and you can use TV Guide to help you decide with a capitalized review. Say, you can watch 60 Minutes, even Captain Kangaroo, but there's only one set, so whatever you watch, well, you know I gotta watch it too. Say, give it up, television's taking its toll. That's enough, give me the remote control. I've been nice, I've been good, please don't do this to me. Turn it off, I don't wanna have to see the Brady Bunch. Not the Brady Bunch, well the Brady Bunch, yeah the Brady Bunch. It's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like the mother, the youngest one in curls. It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with 3 boys of his own. There were 4 men living all together, yeah, but they were all alone. Until the one day, when the lady met the fellow, and they knew it was much more than a hunch. That the group of this group must somehow form a family. That's the way they all became the Brady Bunch. Well, the Brady Bunch. Yeah, the Brady Bunch.
I guess this one is from cassette. That's what the noise you hear. Or maybe an 8-track. I have no idea. Weird Al Yankovic, the Brady Bunch. It's a Brady Bunch. I wish I could tell you what's wrong with that. I think it's a download because I had a version of Nature Trail of the Hell that sounded the same way. It must be... I got it from a cassette, I guess. I don't know. I can't even explain it. The Brady Bunch. Weird Al Yankovic right here on Decades. Wrapping things up for another Saturday night. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time. It started out a little bit late. A couple minutes late. There's a whole story behind that. Anyway, next Saturday night, we're taking one week off from Decades. We'll be back in 2 weeks, which will be, if I look at my little calendar here, I don't know how to use these computer calendars. March 9th, we'll be back. And hopefully Russell Graham will be here from Air Supply. We're planning on doing that interview that day. We also have Mike Tramp going to be on the Decades Artist Spotlight. And we're planning a whole lot more, so... check out the website, decadeswithjoekramer.com, and you can look at all the interviews. I'm putting more interviews up there every single day. We've done hundreds of interviews, and I'm trying to get each and every one on the website so you can listen to them if you missed any of them. So that's the deal. Also on Facebook, same thing, Decades with Joe E. Kramer, or type in Forever 80s. That'll also get you there. Have yourself a great week. I will talk to you next Saturday night. In 2 weeks. Talk to you in 2 weeks. This is Decades. Around the world, the Decades with JoeEKramer.com, the Radio Bolt app for your iPhone or Android device, and of course, right here on the river, 105 and 103.5.